All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to the Money After Military webinar hosted by the Office of Economic Empowerment. My name is Gina Trites, and I work for the Veterans Bonus Division. I am an Air Force veteran. I joined in 2016 and separated in 2020. I was in the HR career field, and now I'm a reservist, still in the HR career field. However, like I said before, I'm a full-time employee at the Veterans Bonus Division. Joining us today, we have Steve Croto, the Veterans Bonus Division Manager. We have Susan Mcdonough from the Department of Veterans Services. We have Jennifer Murphy from the Center for Women in Enterprise. And we have Oresti Varela from the U.S. Small Business Administration. All right. Money After Military webinar series, Starting a Business. This event offers advice to veterans, especially women who are transitioning from the military and are interested in starting a business. We will also highlight local resources for Massachusetts veterans. A disclosure before we start. This is a Zoom webinar and will be recorded. The recording may be uploaded onto a public website for future use. Any information shared through the question function will be anonymous, but please note, however, that the chat record is subject to public record laws and as such is not anonymous. We're also live streaming this Zoom webinar on our Facebook account at Veterans Bonus. Rules of engagement, please utilize your mute function. And also, if you have a question, you can put it into the chat function. Facebook viewers can submit questions through Facebook chat. About the Office of Economic Empowerment. The Office of Economic Empowerment is a department within the Office of the Treasurer and Receiver General of Massachusetts, tasked with supporting, advocating, and facilitating policies that empower all Massachusetts residents. Our programs serve women, families, high school students, veterans, and seniors. Our priorities include financial education, closing the race and gender wage gap, racial equity, college affordability, and promoting STEM education. So today's agenda, we'll be going over the Veterans Bonus Program. Then we are going to have our panelists talk or present on the resources that they have. Then we will do some open question and answer any of the questions that the audience has. So let's start with the Massachusetts State Bonus Program. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts awards wartime bonus payments for recognition of service members who lived in Massachusetts prior to entering the service and served during a designated war or conflict period. The bonuses are the Global War on Terrorism Welcome Home Bonus, Brave Act Bonus, COVID Bonus, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal Bonus. And the requirement for all bonuses is lived in Massachusetts for at least 6 months before entering the military, served or serving honorably, and active service during the eligible periods. If you want to see if you're eligible for a bonus or have any additional bonus inquiries, you can shoot us an email. We also have a QR code up in the corner. And I'll take a brief pause so anyone that wants to scan our QR code can do that. Okay, moving on to our panelists. We will start with the Department of Veterans Services, Susan Mcdonough, and then go to the Center for Women in Enterprise, Jennifer Murphy, and then the U.S. Small Business Administration, Oresti Varela. All right, so Susan, whenever you're ready, I will stop sharing my screen and you can go with yours.
Perfect. Okay. Let me find my screen. Okay, can we see that?
Yes, good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Gina. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Susan Mcdonough, and I am an Army veteran. Currently, I work for the Department of Veterans Service as the director of the Women Veterans Network for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Women Veteran Network is a program of the Department of Veterans Services. We are the central resources for women veterans in Massachusetts. We provide information on federal, state, and local benefits in addition to our outreach mission. Our mission also includes expanding awareness of needs of women veterans and identifying available resources to meet those needs. I mentioned that network is part of the Department of Veterans Services. So the network accomplishes its mission through the programs and the initiatives that are covered in a wide spectrum of activities and services through the department. The network also participates in statewide engagements to fulfill its mission and provide leadership and direction for the federal, state, and local benefits. Network has a few events a year. One is coming up soon, which will be June 11th, is recognizing a woman veteran from the state of Massachusetts. Women Veterans Network is now accepting the application for the Deborah Sampson Award. The Deborah Sampson Award is proudly recognized as a female veteran who has gone above and beyond to serve her fellow women veterans throughout the year. This award is presented to the recipient at the annual Women's Veteran Appreciation Day, which is June 11th, in a ceremony. We also do a yearly conference that is done in November. I don't have any details on that today, but that's something that the network has been doing, I believe now for close to 12 or 13 years. And just wanted to share with you some information. If any of you are ever trying to get in touch with me, Susan Mcdonough, or want to learn more about the benefits for women veterans, please, you can follow us on Facebook at Mass Woman Vets. You can find us on Twitter. We've just developed a brand new website that only launched last Friday. So please come check that out at the website. You can find out more about events, and you can also join the network where we send out a newsletter monthly to an email blast of all women veterans who sign up for the network. And you'll be able to have up-to-date information on what's going on. And if you need to, you can email me at dbswomen@massmail.state.mass.us. So I hope I've covered ways of contacting, but if you visit the website, all that will be listed right there on the website for you. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Susan.
Yep, now I got to stop sharing.
Jennifer, whenever you're ready, we are ready for you.
Wonderful. Good afternoon, everybody. All right, so my name is Jenny Murphy. I am the director of the Veterans Business Outreach Center of New England. We serve all 6 New England states and provide opportunities for veterans and their spouses to be able to access information about entrepreneurship and small business ownership. So we work in partnership with the U.S. Small Business Administration, and we provide one-on-one counseling services We provide opportunities for training, and we also provide technical and financial skill development. We're very invested in being able to help our veterans and their spouses by being able to support business assessment and provide mentoring activities. So our eligibility for our program includes veterans, service-disabled veterans, reservists, National Guard members, and their family members, and active duty members who are preparing to transition from military service into civilian life. So we do serve folks throughout New England. However, there are 21 VBOCs across the country. So we often have folks who are calling to look to relocate to our area and are always happy to be able to provide support. So today we're going to talk a little bit about entrepreneurs and what makes a successful entrepreneur. So some of the characteristics that successful entrepreneurs have includes discipline, being organized, having perseverance, honest and confident, being able to be adaptable and persuasive. Being a business owner, it's required that you are a risk taker and visionary and are able to be competitive within the marketplace. For folks who are transitioning out of the military or who have had active duty military service in their past, definitely have had opportunities to cultivate all these traits, which is why the Small Business Administration feels very strongly that it's important to have an organization like the Veterans Business Outreach Center of New England available to support entrepreneurship and small business ownership. So what are some of the pros and cons of being an entrepreneur? So first, as an entrepreneur, you're able to be a business owner and have independence. You don't have a boss that you're answering to. You are your own boss. There's an immense amount of satisfaction in owning your own business, and being a business owner can certainly result in financial rewards. There's an increase in self-esteem, and there's definitely a bit of self-discipline that is required and is able to give you a quality of life that's based off of your own interests. Some of the challenges around being a business owner includes the risk of failure. Starting a business is can be a lonely and tricky proposition. So being able to think about that risk and being able to accept the reality of that is something that's really important. Additionally, there can be obstacles to starting a business. There is nothing that is more relevant during this day and age than the obstacles that folks are facing because of COVID. It can be very difficult in this environment to be thinking about starting a business. However, there are folks who are and who are starting very successful businesses. Being a business owner can feel lonely and can result in financial insecurity. Starting a business and having that opportunity to be able to engage folks in thinking about how to be able to have an opportunity to think about their own personal finances and how to be able to build equity within their business and generate revenue is something that's really important to be able to consider. And being a business owner can really result in a lot of long hours of work. So, as veterans and women, what do you all have to work with? So think about your core competencies and your expertise and your education and certifications that you all have gotten while involved in the military. What is some of the business experience that you may have had the opportunity to be able to develop? What is some of the management and the budget management skills that you may have now or have had in the future, or maybe thinking about being able to engage in at the current time in order to build your information and knowledge in order to prepare for business ownership? What is some of the entrepreneur exposure that you've had, and what is your experience with startups? Think about folks in your community. Think about family members who have had businesses and what is their experience, and utilize their best practices and the opportunities that they've had and the lessons that they've learned when you're thinking about starting a business. Also, we want you to be considering what your skills are. So make an honest appraisal of your skills. What are your strengths as a person, as an employee? Where do you shine, and how can you utilize those strengths in order to start a business and sustain a business in the long term? What are some of your weaknesses? And don't view those weaknesses as barriers to start a business, but recognize those weaknesses as areas that you will bring in other resources to be able to support you. Being able to name those things and be able to move forward and thinking about how to start a business and build a network around you that's going to support you and support those functions is definitely a strategy that business owners have. Not everybody's good at everything. What are some of the talents that you possess? And what are some of the things that you enjoy doing? If you're going to wake up as a business owner every day, we want you to be enjoying the work that you're doing and utilizing the talents that you have. And then finally, think about the experience you have, and especially the experience that's relevant to the military. There are lots of businesses that folks have developed and are running at this point after transitioning into civilian life because of the experience they have had while in the military. We also want you to be thinking about the viability of your business idea. So an idea or a business concept needs to be clear and you need to have an understanding of what the benefit is to customers and what the value proposition is. You need to be considering, as a potential business owner, where is the profit potential? Will you have customers who are willing to pay for your goods and services? And do folks have a reason to believe in your business? And I highly encourage all of you to be thinking about your veteran status as something to be able to be proud of and to be able to detail as part of your business plan and part of your business identity. Think about how your business can be new and different from alternatives. If you're entering into a market where there are other folks who have similar businesses, think about how to be able to add additional goods or services or have a different approach to the work that you're doing. And think about ways that your work could potentially lead to other products and services. As a business owner, you cannot be stagnant. That means that you are thinking 3, 5, and 10 years in the future about your business and how you can constantly be evolving. And then finally, think about the barriers to entry. The reality is that there are always economic conditions, social conditions, community-based conditions that could make it difficult for your business to survive. So as a startup, what are some of those barriers and how can you address those during the idea and business concept phase of developing your business? So when you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, you're identifying the opportunity. So that's the business idea. You're developing your concept, which is the infrastructure of your business. You're naming your business and detailing your business and talking about how you are going to be providing the goods and services and what your identity is going to be. You're determining the resources that are required. That's both financial resources and other resources that you'll need as a small business owner in order to be able to survive. And then you need to acquire those necessary resources and have those in place before you open your doors. Then you're moving into implementation and management of your business, and then you're able to harvest the venture. So as an entrepreneur, it is a step-by-step process from business startup to being active in business to have the ability to build the foundation of your business, which will help with long-term success. So ask yourself, is there a need for your business? And will people pay for your product or services? Have you done the necessary research, and can you obtain the necessary licenses and permits? And do you have enough funds to get started and operate until you are making money? Or do you need to obtain paid employment and be able to start your business part-time until you can build the business infrastructure to be able to engage in full-time business ownership as your sole source of income? It's really important for folks who are thinking about starting a business to be able to generate a business plan. It helps to answer the questions of viability of the business and really serves as a guide, which is going to be very helpful for you all as you're developing your business to be thinking about what are the steps that I need to put in place and what are the aspects of my business that I need to be thinking about how to develop. A business plan also helps to be able to measure success and is a step-by-step roadmap, and I call it a punch list. So you can start checking off the things that you are looking to develop within your business infrastructure and be able to have in place when you're ready to start operations. And it also provides documentation for financing. If you are ever looking to go to get an SBA backed loan through a lender, they are going to require a business plan. So I always encourage folks sooner rather than later to start their business plan and have it prepared for that eventuality. So before investing your resources into your business, please carefully evaluate yourself and your business concept. Are you ready? Are you willing? And are you able to be an entrepreneur? So just to follow up with the work that we do through the Veterans Business Outreach Center of New England, we provide that one-on-one counseling services. So as you all are considering business ownership, we're helping and supporting you in evaluating what your business plan is and helping you to be able to put in place the infrastructure that you need in order to be successful. We also participate in Boots to Business, which is a training program for transitioning service members to be able to understand how to own your own business. And then we also offer a variety of pre-business plan workshops. So I really encourage folks to be able to reach out to us to be able to get information and support as you are thinking about building a small business. So any questions that folks have?
Jennifer, I'll just do a brief pause in case any come up in the chat, and if they don't, we'll just move on. But all right, it looks like we might have something. Are these trainings virtual as well?
All of the trainings currently are virtual, and even in the post-COVID world, we'll offer a blend of in-person and virtual training. So, and all of the trainings are totally and completely free.
And let's see what else we have. I have a current business. How can one get in touch with SBA counselor for lending?
So the lending for a small business administration backed loan is not through an SBA counselor. It is actually through a bank who offers the opportunity for folks to be able to apply for an SBA backed loan. So we are happy to be able to talk with folks who have existing businesses through that process, and they can certainly follow up with us.
The next presentation.
Yeah, Oreste will add additional information about that.
Okay. Let's see. When are the Boots to Business workshops, and how can we get the information about them?
That's a great question. And I'll look to Oreste as well. We have for Massachusetts, we do have Boots to Business that are going to be scheduled in the near future. So I don't know if you have that included in your presentation, Oreste, for the next group of Boots to Business.
So it's a little, so anyway, we don't have one scheduled. Ones that are outside of, we do them for Hanscom Air Force Base, which is specific for people transitioning from active duty to civilian life. And we have others, so those aren't open to the public. We have reboots that are open to the public. And we don't have any scheduled yet, but usually we look for some entity to host it. So we can certainly schedule that. But I'll, in my presentation at the end, I'll let you know how to know what type of things are being offered and when they're being offered. There's a mechanism for that.
It looks like that was the last question for now. Aresti, if you want to go ahead and do your presentation, we're ready for you.
All right, hopefully everybody can see that. So my name is Oresti Varela. I work for the Small Business Administration. We are a federal agency, one of the smallest federal agencies. Normally there's about 3,000 of us, work all across the country. Massachusetts, there's only 12 of us. Anyway, so who are we? What do we do? Why are we here? You can see there, about igniting change and sparking action and all that. But basically, we help businesses start, grow, expand, and recover. Every state has an office, a district office. Ours is in Boston. If you go to sba.gov/MA, that's our home website. If you were a Spanish speaker, you went to essba.gov, you can see our website entirely in Spanish. Let's say you lived in Connecticut, you go to sba.gov/CT. So that's, anyway. So this is the only question I have for everyone. What do you think, people you can unmute and say, now, keep in mind, I'm from the Small Business Administration. What do you think these companies have in common? Anybody?
Well, I would say they're all well-known. They all have a logo that when you see it, you know exactly who it's for.
True, but how are they tied to SBA? Maybe that's a better question.
Let's see, we have some answers. Let me get that open. Yep, started as a small business.
Yes.
Started as a small business.
They all start small. All businesses start
Mhm.
small. And then the other thing is all of these businesses, these are all billion-dollar businesses. They all receive some type of assistance from SBA. So it can be you. It can be the next one. So you're all here today to increase your confidence and business smarts, right? That's why you're here. And how can you do that? So SBA, I already mentioned, we're a small agency and there's only 12 of us in Massachusetts, right? So what do? We partner with organizations all across the country to help prepare you to start that business or grow that business. That's how we do it. Jenny is one of our resource partners, and we have 4 major resource partners. So I will go through them over the next few slides and how you can get in touch with them. And which one is right for you? Any of them, all of them. You're not, if you let's say you talk to Jenny, whatever, you make an appointment with her, and you can work with the others. You're not limited, and it's all free, by the way. So SCORE is a national nonprofit organization. They've been with SBA almost as long as SBA has been in existence. It's kind of unique in the sense that all of the counselors, mentors are volunteers. So nobody gets paid for anything. They provide one-on-one mentorship, advice. Before COVID, it was in person. Right now, it's all virtual. So all the meetings would be virtual. And they offer free online workshops. And you can see there are several, they call them chapters, across the state. So it's usually best to connect with a chapter that's physically closest to you, because there might be some relevant things. Let's say if you are looking for financing and they refer you to a bank and you're in the Boston area, you kind of want to be with the Boston score. So what I would urge you to do with all of our resource partners, go to one of these websites and sign up for their newsletters, so you'll know the workshops that are being offered, because every week they have different workshops. Anyway, so that's a score. There's Worcester score. So those are all the Boston, Cape Cod, the Northeast is the next one. They're up in the Salem area. SEMA is Southeast, and then Western Mass and Worcester. So those are the different score chapters. So the Small Business Development Center is an organization. It's a quasi-state organization. Half their funding comes from the state, the other half from SBA. And they have they have centers across the state. They're a little different. You know, they're not volunteers. These are people who have business expertise. Now, there's redundancy between one organization and the next, but that's okay. Redundancy is good in this particular case. So they do the one-on-one counseling, they do the low-cost training. They are particularly adept at prepping businesses for financing. So when people say, I want a loan, I said, oh, you want to work with the Small Business Development Center. They do a loan packaging kind of a thing, meaning they don't do the work, you do the work, but they coach you through it. So they prepare you for, pursuing a loan. And then the first website is the state organization. And then you can see there's the Western Mass office in Springfield, one in Berkshire, that's Pittsfield, Clark University is in Worcester, Salem is in Salem, and then the CMAS is down in Fall River. So that's the Small Business Development Center. And then Jenny, you already met Jenny, so I don't need to go through this, but anyway, so she's part of, actually, I'm sorry, she works for VBAC, but VBAC falls under the Center for Women in Enterprise. So I do need to talk about this slide, actually. So the Center for Women in Enterprise was created by women to assist women interested in small business. They don't exclude men, but the majority of their clients are women. And you can see the different things that they offer. Another great organization. Everybody's, it says locations in Boston and Westboro. It's irrelevant these days. Everything's virtual. And again, check out their website. And then this is really Jenny's slide. So you already met her, and then so she works with veterans and their spouses, and again, you can see all those locations. Not like anybody's happy about COVID, but Jenny would normally be driving all the way up and down New England because she's a regional person. So virtual has really helped keep her miles low on her car. But anyway. So those are our resource partners. And if there's anything you take away from today, is work with a resource partner. It's free. So that's the number one takeaway in today, is work with a resource partner. This is just our district office, wherever it's a list of folks here. Anyway, money. So you need money. How do you get money? So you need a loan to start or grow or expand. There's all kinds of different types of loans, for microloans. They're all backed by SBA, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So these SBA backed loans, again, the loans are made by lenders, whether they're banks or they're special type of organizations, or I'll mention in a minute. These loans can be used to launch, grow, repair different things, whatever, almost any aspect or anything that any needs that a small business has, these loans can be used for. But SBA guarantees the loan, which means that basically if you take a loan from, get a loan from an SBA lender, a bank, let's say, and then your business fails, unfortunately, and you can't pay back the loan, the SBA provides a certain amount of relief to the lender, not the borrower. When you borrow money, you always owe it. So always keep that in mind. It's just that if the banks don't need SBA to lend money, they lend money all day, every day. But with SBA's backing, they are more likely to lend money to small businesses. What a bank does is they assess the risk on a case-by-case basis of a business, and if the risk is high, then they want SBA's backing. And I know I'm going fast, and there's a lot of information here. And so this was the slide on the guarantee, which I kind of just covered. And you can see there basically we minimize the risk to the bank. And the terms, usually the terms and the interest rate are more favorable with an SBA backed loan than if you just working independently with a bank. And collateral, usually you have to bring 20% or so to the table. And these are generalities. Every business is case by case basis will be evaluated and assessed on its risk. So this slide, this is just nice to know what's interesting on this slide more than all these things. You see these things that are scratched out here. You're like, what is that? So it costs money to borrow money typically. Actually, I went out of order. There's no fees. Let me go back up. So the guarantee, I talked about the guarantee, and the guarantee varies, but through 2021, the guarantee is 90%. What does that mean? So let's say you wanted to borrow $100,000, or you borrow $100,000, and things don't go well, and you have to close the business after a couple of years. Well, the bank's exposure is only 10%, so it would only be $10,000. So you think, whoa, the bank's gonna lend me that money. Well, they will. They don't lend willy-nilly. They still want to check a lot of different things, but they are more likely to lend because of this. So this is another way we're trying to spur the economy, is with these loans. And then down on the bottom, you can see I started saying, usually it costs money to borrow money, but fees are all waived through 2021. And this is important for all of us veterans. Maybe not so much this year because fees are waived for everyone, but this is permanent. There's basically no fees for veteran borrowers forever. It's really what it comes down to. You can see maximum loan amounts up to $1 million. So that's a big deal and a big advantage of being veteran-owned business, which means you're 51% or more veteran owned. And then these microloans, let's say you go to a bank and they say, listen, even with SBA backed and your credit score is too low. Well, we have specialized lenders within Massachusetts, well, every state, but the Service Massachusetts. And these are loans only to $50,000, and they're kind of high interest rate. You can see 6 to 13%. And the term is pretty short, up to 6 years. But if if you're hell bent on starting that business and you can't get money any other way, this is a mechanism to do it. And then this last loan is just if you're looking to buy a business that includes real estate, like, I'm going to buy this building and my businesses are going to be in the bottom of it, whatever. This is the best kind of a loan, a 504 loan. And remember earlier, I just said 20% down. This one, you only have to put 10% down. And it's right now, the interest rates are around 3% for 25 years. So it's crazy. The eligibility is that 51% of the square footage of the building houses your business. So again, I'm talking fast and going through a lot of information. And again, we're just hitting tip of the iceberg stuff. Again, this would be a much longer conversation with a resource partner or with me or whatever, if you really want to pursue this. And back to the resource partner thing. All of our resource partners can help analyze, review the business plan, expense sheets, the financial statements, projections. This is what they do. This is how they help you to prepare you for the loan. And then, so let's say you're working with one of our resource partners and they they say, oh, you're ready. Well, you can certainly go to a bank, physically go to a bank with your business plan, or you can go to SBA.gov lender match. Step one, you describe your needs. I think there's like 21 questions. And basically lenders have to opt in or opt out within 2 business days. And then you'll basically get an email and it'll say, hi, I'm so-and-so from such a Citizens Bank, let's talk. And all it is just, it's a connection. It's like match.com, right? Except that this is with a lender. You're not applying for a loan through this portal, but it's a free referral with a lender. And what's cool about it is that lenders will pursue you. Now, let's say after you do this, you get an email after a few days and it says, sorry, no one's interested. Then you got to go back to your resource partner and say, uh-oh, something's wrong with my plan or my numbers or whatever. So this is a great free mechanism. And then, as your business is growing and you want to expand, you can get into government contracting. Oops, oh, I went too quick. How do I go back? Oh, here it is. Wait a minute. Excuse me. We have 2 people in our Boston office. All they do all day, every day is talk federal contracting. This is pretty tedious, but again, it's worth getting into if it's something you're interested in. But that's a 2-hour presentation if you want to sit through one of those. But and then last few slides, the disasters. Now the pandemic wasn't a physical disaster in the sense that it destroyed things. Destroyed lives. That's terrible. That's not what I mean. But what I mean is that in terms of prepare your business, the number one thing I tell people is that save your data up in a cloud somewhere. Now, I don't know what that means in the sense of how much it costs or where you do it or how you do it. I don't know. But what I'm saying is if, like I'm on my laptop here, if it gets physically destroyed and I haven't saved my data somewhere, then you're done. So, you definitely want to save your data somewhere up in the cloud. This is just a summary of all the things that are happening right now in terms of COVID relief. So if you have a business, you've been in business since 2019, we have lots of things going on. The PPP still going on. This debt relief, which is if you already have an existing SBA loan, we provide, we're paying basically for up to 3 months of principal and interest. The economic injury disaster loan is a loan that's still available for businesses. And then the grant programs, which are currently, this is the hot thing right now, is if you have a venue like a theater that was shuttered, there's a grant going on right now. And then on Monday, the Restaurant Revitalization Fund opens up, and that's a pure grant, which is free money that's available for restaurants or other type of food service venues. And you can find out more about all these. You can see at SBA.gov, coronavirus. So that was it, fast and furious. So what I mentioned earlier is that if you go to SBA.gov/updates, sign up for our newsletter. So our newsletter used to come out monthly, but during the pandemic, it's probably 3 times a week. Every time there's some new information about a different program or how to do this or how to do that. So SBA.gov/updates, you put in your zip code, and if it's Massachusetts zip code, then you'll get Massachusetts newsletter. If it's a Connecticut or New Hampshire, you'll get there. So anyway, so that was, again, just fast and furious little overview of SBA programs. So does anybody have any questions about SBA? And what I'll do is I'll send my slide deck to Gina or Steve or wherever, and I'll make it a PDF and I'll send it to them so that they can send it out to you, because I know I went through things very, very fast. So if that's helpful, I'll send that out.
Yes, well, we'll be sending out a follow-up email after this. So we can include that in our follow-up email. Thank you all for sharing your resources with us. We have a few more resources here. Bunker Labs, Innovate Vets, Boston Initiative, VA Veteran Entrepreneur Portal. And then I'll just take a brief pause, see if there's any other questions in the chat that we can answer before we sign off.
Hi, Rusty. Thanks for the briefing. Very good. A lot of information. It's good that you have resources all over the state. I think that's very important. A lot of people complain that everything's just in Boston, so it's awesome that your team is all over the state and New England. Also, Aresti mentioned the biggest takeaway is contact those resources, and you can go one further and you can contact any of us and we can get you in touch with the right people. So feel free to contact us if you need to get in touch with anybody. In our office and Susan's office, you can contact us if you have any type of veteran question. We'll be sure to get you to the right people as well. We have a little bit more time and I don't see any questions. So let's see if we have, I'll throw a few questions at the panelists. Jenny, what would be the first start of your business? I know reach out to you, but how do you have to register somewhere? I'm not sure myself, so that's why I'm asking, just for my own knowledge.
So in order to become a client of the Veterans Business Outreach Center of New England, we do have a client intake form. I'll actually put into the chat the link to that client intake form. It asks some questions, some demographic, and asks demographic information. And then that gets submitted, and then a staff person on my team will follow up and schedule an intake meeting to be able to talk about where any of our clients are at in the business development process, or if they have existing businesses and are looking for support. So I'll throw that information into the chat right now.
Great, that's a great answer. So for anybody listening, if you're interested in starting a business, Jenny recommends contacting her office, and they'll help you in that process, no matter where you're at in the process. I think they can provide you some help and some great resources. Let's see if I have any other questions for anyone. Let's see. Let's see what, and this is for Aresti or Jenny. What advice do you have for women veterans who want to start their own business?
The number one thing is inspiration. Being on this call was good. It was a good start. So, we all of our resource partners have different kinds of workshop, how to start a business, how to market your business. So building that business acumen, learning as much as you can, to me, is the best thing that anyone can do.
I totally agree with Oreste. It is critical for any entrepreneur who is thinking about starting a business to be able to get as much information as possible. So, through the SBA resource partners that Oreste did a wonderful presentation on to the Veterans Business Outreach Center of New England, we say information is and knowledge is power, and will give you the ability to be able to start your business and understand the key components that need to be put in place. And it's not only the training, the one-on-one counseling as well. We welcome anybody in the business development process to give us, to reach out and to set up an appointment to speak with us. If you have a business idea and it has not been fully developed, and you want to talk a little bit about what that process is and what some of the prospects are, we're happy to be able to work with you and to be able to help you develop your ideas and understand the next steps that you should be taking.
Great, thanks. Very good answer. And I remember Jenny in her presentation, I think she mentioned something about doing something you love to do. So that, if there's something you like to do and you can get money off of it, I'm sure that's a good route to go. Before we end, let me see if I have any other questions that I want to share. So here's one. How has the entrepreneur industry changed in the past 5 years? And what do you predict for the future? And this go for Rusty or Jenny, if you could speak on that.
So I'll start with that one. The last 5 years
Yeah,
are
well,
irrelevant. The last year is the most important one. So pivoting, that's the big thing that you'll hear. Businesses had to pivot. They had to change the way they've done business. So the thing is, it changes all the time. Predictions, anybody who knows, things change, the whether it's an state administration or now, the presidential administrations, things change all the time. So to predict the next 5 years, I don't know. The reality is that if you like you had mentioned, if there's something that you like to do and you could get paid doing it, that's wonderful. But what you have to do is you have to work with one of our resource partners to see if that is marketable, and that market changes all the time. So it's relevant, and businesses have to change. So the thing is that you're in an ever-changing environment when you own a business. Just because you like to do something and some people buy it doesn't mean it's viable. It doesn't mean that you can make a living off of it, and maybe it's just a hobby, and that's fine too. So there's a lot of work that goes into successful businesses, and businesses that continue to operate from year 1 to year 5 to year 40 have to change. They have to change. Industries change things. Just think, just within our lifetimes, look at all of the changes. Let's say you were selling records, vinyl records, 30 years ago or 40 years ago, whatever it was. And that went out of favor. CDs came on, and then CDs are gone. And now they're not, but now it's the digital craze. So, and then now vinyl's making a resurgence. So now people want the vinyl. So the thing is, it's a constant change, whatever product or service that you have.
Great, Aresti. Very good information there. Once again, really appreciate your experience. We don't have any other questions, so I think we can end this. We're getting close to the 2 o'clock time frame. First, I'd like to thank the Office of Economic Empowerment for putting on this, for hosting this webinar. I think it's a great information to get out there. And I also want to thank the panelists. Appreciate you taking the time to do this. And Gina and Eli, who was doing the stuff in the back, thanks again for your help. And one last thing, if you want to find out about the bonus, you can put your name in the chat and we can reach out to you as well. We can do it that way. Gina, do you have anything else for us?
Nope, got nothing.
Great. Well, I think that's great timing. And thank you, everybody. I hope you learned something from this, and reach out to us if you have any questions. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great day.